Well, we're 11-0. I cautioned after the Utah game of a letdown, and we came out, whether we came out tight or we came out any of the above. Bottom line, we found a way to win. You got to give San Diego State a lot of credit. Now we move on. It's all we have control over.
Give us some news on the
Eddie, I think he's stable. So, yeah, he was like in the first few minutes of that ball game, and he's having chest pains. We got him into the tunnel, and we got him to a hospital. So, they kind of put us in a little bit of a disarray early.
You said you did what you had to do. Talk about the response in the first half. I mean, offense put together, defense kind of put it together towards halftime.
Well, I mean, you play without an Ed Wesley, you play without different people. But the bottom line to it is San Diego State did a good job in the fourth quarter. Our kids fought back after trying to screw the whole thing up, start the ball game. And San Diego State did a nice job of you get a sack in the end zone and you throw the ball on a double pass, and that's what you get. I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit. They were a 7-2 team coming in here, and they made it a ball game at the end. So you gotta go stop. That's what we're good at, and we didn't do a very good job. We blew a couple coverages for the last two touchdowns, and you got to come play. You can't freeze up, and we did. But I'm the guy that calls it, so there's only one guy I can blame but me. What's that? Yeah, I thought, Wayman James has been playing well all year, and so has Tucker. I mean, they've both been playing. I mean, Tucker had a great game today. I don't know what he had, but had 103. Both of them had over 100 yards. So, I mean, we did what we needed to do. We just can't turn the ball over. When you get in the red zone, you got to score. I mean, we should have had more points on the board, and you can't miss field goals and PATs. I mean, they had 85 yards at halftime, or whatever it was. I mean, you got to go play, and you got to play 4 quarters. We got a second or third and long, and they throw a back screen, and we don't tackle, and he gets a first down. I mean, it's a comedy of errors. But you go back to how you do it. But bottom line is to it, we're 11-0. It's what we wanted to do. We knew the kind of game. We knew what they had in front of them, and here we go. So that's what we got.
You said you're not sure if they were too tight or too loose?
I don't know what they were. When I do that, I'll write a book. Then I won't have to be standing up here in front of you guys telling you why I feel bad that we lost, that we just won. So. But a year ago we had a down ball game after Utah because of the emotional high of playing those guys, and we started off the game today about the same way, I felt like. But it wasn't talked about, it wasn't addressed, and I think some of that you got to give a little bit of that credit to San Diego State. So.
San Diego State was getting the respect they deserve coming into this game?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I did. I mean, it's about like what I said about Baylor. I told you guys Baylor was a good football team, and you all looked at me like I was crazy. So they're one game out of being on top of the Big 12. I mean, you gotta go play. San Diego State's a good football team. Those 2 senior wide receivers, I said last Sunday, they were good players. We did a good job against Tillman in the running game, except for one play, but you can't let the ball get thrown over your head. It's a pretty simple deal. You get the ball thrown over your head, then bad things are going to happen to you, and we allowed that to happen, I think, 3 or 4 times tonight. So.
As your team was coming off the field tonight, I heard a lot of them. First thing they were doing was asking other people, as Coach Williams. Do you think that was all?
Well, we talked now. I mean, we talked at halftime. I told him he was okay. He was fine. I mean, they knew we're a close group. But you got to go play. It's like why I watched Iowa get beaten in a close ball game today. I mean, this time of year, you got to go play in conference. Every week, you better get ready to play. After you play a big game, you better get ready to play. It doesn't make any difference. Everybody's going to take their best shot, and we got their best shot. And, going into the fourth quarter, you would thought we had a good enough lead that it wouldn't be turning out like that, but they did a great job of coming back and making it a ball game. So you got to play. Same thing was wrong with him after the game the other night, his foot. Stanley didn't play. Frost didn't play. Ed Wesley shouldn't have played. He went in, really couldn't go. And then in the second half, we lost Curley, Boyce, Kirkpatrick. So, just hard-hitting ball game. Got to get ready to go. We got 2 weeks to get mended and get ready for the last one, so we got a chance to be 12-0, and that's what our goal is. That's what we can control. The question I had outside was about the polls. I can't do anything about the polls. I would say that we found a way to win in a conference game. We played a big game, and we didn't play as well as we need to the next week. Everybody can watch. You now have a 7-3 San Diego State team instead of a 7-2. So for us, it's not the score we would like to have had, but the bottom line to it falls into my category of 1 point. So really, I should cheer up. So everybody be happy. Well, yeah, this group here, now they've won 43 ball games. They've won 42, and they got a chance 2 weeks to win 43, which is the most ever. And then in the bowl game, they got a chance to win 44. They've been a winner ever since they came here. They've done things with class. The comments made by the Utah players last week about how our kids handle themselves on the field, across the board. I couldn't be happier with the group. Well, the 1 point is just a win. Because if we would have lost tonight 42-40, I don't think anybody would been happy. So for us, 40-35 was a win. We don't very often give up 35 points in this house. So there you go. But the good part was we scored over 36, so pretty excited about that. It'll make the next 2 weeks a lot better. Having an off week the last week of the season is not what you'd call, especially whether it's the polls or anything else, because you're forgotten. So you're not going to play next Saturday. So, we don't have any control over next week. Then we go to New Mexico. So it's.
Are you worried about getting penalized by not playing?
No, I can't work. I'm going to wake up in the morning and finally get a chance to go to breakfast with my wife. Usually I'm back in the office 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we're doing about our business. So it's we're going to be pretty beat up after this ball game, to be honest with you. It'll take us probably a week to get most everybody back. It was a very physical game. As a general rule, you would think that if you ran 90 plays and had almost 500 yards and you only gave them 47 and they had only 300 yards, you'd be pretty fired up about the day. But key is everything that's part of what's going on. So, we got to keep winning. But they were whatever they were, 27th ranked. And as I said a year ago, they were going to be better, and they're better. And they're always going to be. They've got some good players, and they're going to keep having good players. So you got to give San Diego State a lot of credit. And you got to give our kids a lot of credit for finding a way to win. It was a good ball game.
Were you happy with how your team responded once they were down 14-0 early in the
Oh, yeah, sure.
Did it remind you of the SMU game? How they
No, I don't think at any point in time did the SMU game ever cross my mind. But I would say that we fought back, we got ourselves ready to go, and but it wasn't just my team. It was like the crowd was in shock, like they couldn't believe. I've been telling people since media lunch what kind of game this is going to be and what San Diego State had to play for. And the biggest thing is, the most amazing thing is watching everybody, my team and the fans, sit quiet like they're in shock. I mean, they're a good football team. So, I didn't understand why there was such a big deal about, well, what's happening here? If you don't come ready to play against good football teams, that's what's going to happen to you. So, you got to get ready to go.
Any other questions?
See ya.